Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video is a post-Senior Bowl mock draft. Not only the Senior Bowl, but also the Shrine Bowl. We had a great week of practice. They aired a lot of the drills, the one-on-one activities, quarterback activities. It was a good week of practice for people like me to look at some of these prospects that might not be day one guys that are border second round picks, possibly helping themselves to get into that first round. So you saw a lot of good things this week. The games themselves weren't as exciting, a little underwhelming, but again, the practices this week, you got a chance to see what these guys can do. Also, you got to get real measurables on these guys as well, because a lot of these colleges be lying about heights, weights, and things like that. So you got a chance to see real heights, real measurables on these dudes this week. And so without further ado, I do want to go ahead and jump into this mock draft. I will be using the PFF simulator again, and trust me, some people in the previous mock draft, they loved it. They loved the picks that I was making. Some people disagree with the picks that I'm making. Some people are asking why I didn't do this or do that. And listen, this is a simulator. It's absolutely a simulator, and sometimes guys you think will be there aren't going to be there. Some guys you think don't or won't be there are there, and you pretty much have, there's like no chance of these guys actually being there when you're picking. So I just want to say that, put that disclaimer out there. Trust me. In some cases, I'm picking what the simulator gives me the options of, and try to go with the best player available in some occasions, positions of need in some occasions, and just some guys that I have personal opinions about as well, because again, we do a lot of work, we watch a lot of tape, and you know what, we have some guys that we figure are favorites that we root for. In some cases, that bleeds out into these mocks, but I try to think as much as what the New York Giants need as far as positions of value, positions of need, and make those choices all the time. But sometimes there's an agenda, and hopefully I can let you guys know when that agenda is occurring. So without further ado, let's get right into this. All right, so I will be doing a 7-round mock draft. Again, this is going to be a post-Senior Bowl mock draft, and let me go ahead and get the New York Giants are already selected. 7 rounds is already selected. Let's go ahead and get this draft entered, and I might slow the speed down just a little bit so we can see some of these guys coming off of the board. But let me go ahead and start this draft. And again, I never really do trades. Maybe that might be something that I do in the future, but as of right now, I'm not going to be doing any trades. Let's start. All right, you saw that Will Anderson was the first person off the board. Okay, now some positions of need that they have listed are wide receiver, tight end, center, and linebacker, and I agree with all that. But I would also add cornerback to that list. Heavy dose of cornerback. Just looking right now, wow, you see a guy like Nolan Smith has dropped as an edge rusher. Now that's a little bit different because again, everybody's like, oh, we have Kayvon Thibodeau on one side, and we have Ojulari on the other side, and it's like, okay, but can Ojulari stay healthy? So edge rusher is always going to be intriguing. Another thing is, as I'm looking at the guard from Florida, O'Cyrus Torrence, that's another guy. Do you want to go ahead and try to solidify that offensive line early? And then I see linebacker Trenton Simpson. So there's a couple of options here, and I'm just going down the list to see some of the people. Luke Musgrave was a guy that had a good week at Senior Bowl, and another viable tight end option. So I'm just going back. Tanner McKee, obviously. I'm thinking in the mindset of us bringing back Daniel Jones, so I'm not trying to attack the quarterback position early here in this mock draft. All right, so I do like Nolan Smith as edge, but also for me, I think cornerback, a guy that we can line up or be the CB2 to our Dory Jackson, is probably going to be one of those guys. And I'm looking back at who was drafted, and I see Jordan Addison to Minnesota, Broderick Jones to the Jaguars, and a guy that I picked up last week in the last mock was Joey Porter. I see him going to Penn State, and that's funny. So now you have Joey Porter Jr. and Asante Samuel Jr. for the Chargers in this mock. Just think that's funny. All right, so for me, cornerback is definitely a position of need. I see a guy like Cam Smith on the board, aggressive physical corner, has a good length, speed. So I'm going to go ahead and address that cornerback position to try to help Wink out, especially what he's trying to do, leaving these cornerbacks on islands. And a guy like Cam Smith can be a good one-on-one type of coverage corner. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Cam Smith with that first pick. Okay, let's see what they do. Okay, I saw that the Eagles grabbed B.J. Ojulari. All right, Drew Sanders off the board with the Saints. Kelly Ringo off the board with the Falcons. All right, let's see what Jack Campbell is another linebacker position. That's a position of need for us as well. Okay, we're back on the clock. Pick 57. First guy I see is a halfback. I'm not going to take a running back this early in the draft, especially if we have Saquon Barkley. Again, it's about value to me, and you figure we went cornerback with the first pick. Now, if we didn't have Adoree Jackson, I would probably go back-to-back cornerbacks with Cam Smith and then this guy right here, Garrett Williams, good cornerback out of Syracuse. I'm seeing a lot of edge rushers still on the board. Now, one thing I would also say is that with Leonard Williams, because of his neck injury and possibly needing surgery and also willing to take a pay cut, how healthy is he really, or is he just want to be a part of this team because we're building up something special? But I have to have that in the back of my mind. It's possibly trying to find a future replacement for Leonard Williams, or either that body type to play that technique for the same way as Leonard Williams. A lot of these edge rushers are tweeners, 250, 260 pounds. No real big, heavy guys that I'm seeing so far in this round. So I see Jalin Hyatt. I like that. I'm also seeing linebacker Daiyan Henley. Now, Henley is a good sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Can give Wink what he's been missing as far as, getting to the ball very quickly, being able to locate the ball and go there with some good force and pressure. But again, I'm not seeing the value yet. Parker Washington, of course, we need a wide receiver. Parker Washington is an explosive guy. Great hands, can go up and grab those contested passes. Good route runner. I saw somebody say like he's a running back playing wide receiver, so automatically what I'm thinking about is Deebo Samuels. Obviously, Deebo Samuels is a great player, so I don't want to go ahead and do that yet, but I do like his skill set. For those that have not seen Parker Washington, if you're not familiar with Parker Washington, there's a ton of tape on YouTube. I suggest you look at some of the games rather than just the highlights. But if you want to just check out the highlights, there are a bunch of tapes on Parker Washington. So wide receiver is a need. I'm going to go ahead with Parker Washington in this round. Let me go back a little bit further and see if I can reach on the play. Jalin Hyatt is a good option as well. And you know what? You get a burner like that to help open up the offense. Cornerbacks have to respect it. You know what? Actually, let me go ahead with Jalin Hyatt. I didn't get a chance because he didn't participate in any of the bowl games, but I can't wait to see this guy in the combine to see if he can run the full route trees. But in this case right here, I'm going to go Jalin Hyatt over Parker Washington and draft the wide receiver. So I'm going to try to speed up this simulator a little bit. There we go. So Hendon Hooker come off the board there. Okay, pick 89 for the New York Giants. Again, we addressed the cornerback and wide receiver position, tight end, center, linebacker. Now, center is an intriguing spot here, but also I do like the interior defensive tackle here, Jacqueline Roy out of LSU. In some cases, Dexter Lawrence needs a spell. We did draft DJ Davis, and he could be coming back off of that ACL, but we don't know what shape he's going to be in. But he did give us some quality snaps, that being DJ Davis. Ooh, DeJuan Jones, tackle. Now, this guy had the longest recorded reach or wingspan for any player in the combine history. I think it was 7.5 feet. So, that's something. And he has good technique as well. Noah Sewell. Okay, now, normally I would say, we need a linebacker. Noah Sewell's available. Let's go ahead and grab Noah Sewell. Now, for me, Noah Sewell has the same type of game as Darian Beavers, same type of game as Micah McFadden. Downhill type of linebacker. Not very fast sideline to sideline, and I think we have a lot of those type of guys that are going to be available. Him, Noah Sewell, Jack Campbell, put him in that same mold. But I have a lot of faith in Darian Beavers, so I might hold off on that linebacker spot. Let me see what else is going on here. Okay, Luke Weipler, Nick Herbig. Now, when I see Nick Herbig is gonna make a team very, very happy at the NFL. The guy has great pass rush moves, great hands, quick off the ball. The only problem with Nick Herbig is he's 230 pounds, and we already know, coming off the edge, 230 pounds is just not big. It's just not, especially at the next level. But I think something about this guy tells me that he can actually do it. So I'm just looking at value. We're at pick 89. His rank is 95. So we're getting a little low on ranks. But again, if you see a guy and you want to pound the table for the guy, you absolutely do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and address the interior, because we need to win in the trenches. We need to be better. So I like Jacqueline Roy as a guy that you can put in there and possibly kick out to the edge in some cases, to get you some reps if you want to, if it's short downs. But I'm going to go with the defensive interior lineman, D-tackle, Jacqueline Roy of LSU. All right, let's see what's going on now. I'm curious to see where Nick Herbig went, because I saw him go off the board. I would hate for it to be a place like the Eagles. All right. I'm just going to go back a little bit just to see, because I want to be nosy and see where Herbig went. Oh, Clark Phillips was a good name too. A.T. Perry, Juwan Jones. Okay, at least I know. So he didn't go that far behind. He ended up going to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think that would be a great pickup for the Chiefs. They need that type of defense. So now I haven't addressed the offensive line yet, and this is a good round to possibly try to find some lineman help, even some tight end help. So let's see who's available on the board. So I do see a guard, Antonio Mafi. Marvin Mims is there too. Wow, Jonathan Mingo is also there, and this is pick 128 in the 4th round. So I do like Marvin Mims and Jonathan Mingo. Mingo is a bigger guy. Cedric Van Pran at the center. Oluwatimi is another center. So you're caught in a dilemma, right? You're caught in a dilemma. I have not picked a linebacker yet. Owen Papo is a fast linebacker out of Auburn. A little undersized, but sideline to sideline is fantastic. Some people think he can run in the 4.3s as a linebacker, so that's something to look at. Again, we're at pick 128. This guy's value is ranked at 136, but again, sometimes need and value meet. Oluwatimi, another good week guy at the Senior Bowl. Center had a pretty good week, especially one-on-one drills. Jonathan Mingo and Marvin Mims. So we picked up Jalen Hyde as a wide receiver. Who knows what we're going to do in free agency. A lot of people have the T. Higgins rumors out there and possibly a target for the Giants, but right now I can't consider T. Higgins being on the roster, because again, why would the Bengals give up T. Higgins? But again, I know money matters. So I'm stuck between Jonathan Mingo and possibly the center, Oluwatimi. Now, here's the one thing about our team and the quarterback. Yes, you want these targets on the outside. Yes, you want Daniel Jones to make these throws or deeper throws down the field. You want a more exciting offense. So do you just keep on adding targets and wide receivers, or do you solidify that line? And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to select the center, Oluwatimi from Michigan, as the pick, because again, we need to solidify the trenches. So I'm going to go with that pick there. All right, let's see what's going on. And of course, Jonathan Mingo looks like he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh man, a guy in the mold of A.J. Brown, and they got, another version of A.J. Brown, in my opinion, a little bit. Okay, not really, yo. We'll see what happens, how he pans out. Okay, now we're in round 5, pick 162. Round 5 is a great round, in history for running backs. Rounds 5 and 6. Oh, okay, so we didn't have a linebacker yet. And then look who just happens to show up. Ivan Pace Jr. This guy is a ball hawk. A little undersized, but he is a ball hawk. Physical, makes plays, sees the ball, go get ball type of linebacker. So he's probably going to be my early favorite right now. Let me see who else is out here. We got a couple of tackles. Dontavion Wicks. I know what I said before. And right now, I'm hoping in my mind that we address the linebacker position in free agency, because I like Dontavian Wicks a lot. And even though I just praised Ivan Pace being one of those see-ball, go-get-ball type of linebackers, very undersized. Believe he's about 5'11", not quite 6 foot, maybe 230 pounds. So he could get caught up in the wash. And I'm looking at Dontavian Wicks. That's a nice skill set to have, especially when a value pick too in these later rounds. And if you can get this guy in the 5th round, I think that's stealing, absolutely stealing at this point in time. We already addressed the center, so I'm not even going to waste too much more time with this pick. I'm going to go ahead and go with Dontavian Wicks because I like nice things, and I know you guys like nice things too. And this wide receiver room needs an overhaul. And if you have 2 rookies that can contribute, just think about how much money you're saving. So the team up with Jalin Hyatt, I'm going to go ahead and go with Dontavian Wicks as another wide receiver to add to this room. All right. And I believe we have 4 picks left. Next pick is going to be 218. Now, I still have not addressed the tight end spot. I know. Still need to try to find a linebacker. I know. And in some cases, like I said, the way the simulator works, sometimes the value is not there. But bang, look at this. We need a tight end. And staring at pick 218, there's a guy ranked at 209. Is Cameron Latu. Again, I like that right off the bat. I do see some interior linemen as well, and you know what? It's not a bad thing. Again, we addressed the center position. I think that we have a lot of guards on the team coming back from injury. You know, Joshua Zudu, Marcus McKeithen, Ben Bredesen, you know, Glowinski. All these guys are guards and can give you some valuable snaps. So maybe I don't force the guard here, but I do like this tight end a lot from Alabama, and I'm going to go ahead and draft the tight end here. Okay. And when you get into these late rounds, man, this is where the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Bowl comes in handy, especially if you don't have a real history or haven't been looking up a lot of these guys. But, you know, it always helps to put a face to a name when you watch, you know, a certain amount of tape, highlights, and things like that on these players. A lot of these guys, when you get down into these, you know, later rounds, you don't really get a chance to see these guys. So the New York Giants have picked 242, 245, and 254. So a lot of these guys probably have the same value. And again, I have not addressed the linebacker position, but again, right off the bat, I'm seeing a halfback, Tavion Thomas. Now, if we're able to bring back Saquon Barkley, you want a change of pace type back, go ahead with Tavion Thomas, a big bruiser out of Utah. And he looks like he's going to be the front runner so far for me. I do like Wanya Morris. Again, he was another guy, Senior Bowl week, did pretty good in a lot of those drills. So you know what? Jadon Hazelwood is another one that was at the Senior Bowl. Or it might have been the Shrine Bowl. You know, they bleed those things together. So in some cases I can't. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tavion Thomas, and I'm gonna hope that Wanya Morris is still on the board. You know, 3 picks away. Let's see. And Wanya Morris is on the board. Again, another quality guy, quality offensive lineman, can play tackle, can play some interior as well. And you know what? This is good value, especially in the 7th round. You know, looking up these guys. Yeah, I'm going to go with Wanya Morris. Has some good reps in the Senior Bowl. All right, so the last pick, obviously fullback, cornerbacks here as well. Couple decent cornerbacks. You know, at the end, we do see some safety spots, safety, corner, tight end again, safety. See if there's any steals here. Tyson Badgett, his father was hilarious during Senior Bowl week. His dad is actually an arm wrestling champion, and he had a little segment on there. It was hilarious. Lou Nichols. Okay, Brayton Willis, Tyus Sweet. I'm just looking down these names again. Oh, Alex Forsyth. So if I wanted to get another center, I could pick one up here. Alex Forsyth, can play center, but also can give you some reps at guard. So that's some value there at 272. But again, a little further down the list now. So this might be how you fill your roster. Guys that give you some quality depth and also can contribute. Maybe you want to think special teams too with some of these later guys as well. So you can't go wrong with a safety or one of these bigger cornerbacks. And you know what? I'm going to end this with a safety. I'm going to take Brandon Hill from Pittsburgh. So a guy that it fits a position where we need some depth, but also can give you some special teams help. So that's who I'm going to go with, Brandon Hill, safety out of Pittsburgh. All right, now let's see how we did. Let's see what kind of grade we got for this one, and then just do a quick recap of all our selections. All right, let's see here. So again, first round Cam Smith, second round Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver. Went with the defensive tackle to help back up Dexter Lawrence and give us some snaps on the outside as well, possibly, in a pinch for Leonard Williams. And went with the center in the fourth round. Got another wide receiver, Dontavian Wicks, which is good value. And just look at some of these scores. I'm surprised. Cam Smith ended up being a B. That's fine with me. I think his value is very good at that spot. Jalen Hyatt, I don't think he'll be there at 57, but in this simulator he was, and you get a guy like that who can, take the top off of a defense. Jacqueline Roy, again, B-, B+ for Oluwatimi. Look at some of these A's. Dontavian Wicks, A- is scored. Cameron Latu got an A at the tight end spot. Tavion Thomas, a B-, and then you go into those last two picks, you got a C+ for both, for the tackle, Wanya Morris out of Oklahoma, and the safety, Brandon Hill. So again, overall draft grade was a B, which is fine for me, because a lot of these guys are going to be day one contributors for the New York Giants if we were to have a draft like this. But again, I like this draft. Again, this is the post-Senior Bowl mock draft. I might do a couple more but between now and when the combine begins, but expect the next mock draft especially to be, after the combine and, a post-combine type mock draft. But again, I love what you guys did last time. Let me know in the comments that the mock sucked if you thought it sucked. If you thought it was good, you liked the picks, you guys said that as well. I enjoy reading all those comments, and I also enjoy, other people's perspective on a lot of these players. But again, going down this list, you can see some of those names. If you get a chance to look these guys up, go ahead and look them up. Watch some tape, watch some film, watch some cut-ups, watch some highlights and stuff on YouTube. But again, I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.